Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever stared at a price chart and wondered how to transform all those shifting candlesticks into a tireless, automated trading robot, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to decode the MQL5 Reference Manual, specifically zooming right in on Chapter 27 to help you confidently build and automate your algorithmic trading strategies. We are focusing purely on the mechanics of technical indicators inside the MetaTrader 5 ecosystem. It's really the ultimate algorithmic puzzle, right? How do you actually bridge that massive, chaotic gap between raw market ticks and precise, actionable mathematical trading logic? We know the platform handles the data feed for us, but as developers, we need a reliable, structured way to intercept that data, apply our formulas, and spit out a strict buy or sell signal. So, here is our builder's blueprint for today. We're going to cover the MQL5 indicator architecture, using built-in indicators, unleashing iCustom indicators, retrieving that data with copy buffer, and finally, proper resource management. Let's jump in. All right, part 1, the MQL5 indicator architecture. So in MQL5, the entire technical indicator ecosystem revolves around one absolute game changer of a concept, the indicator handle. Think of this as your VIP access pass. When you call up an indicator in MQL5, the system doesn't just instantly dump a massive array of price data into your lap. Nope. Instead, it dynamically builds an indicator object in the system's memory and hands you back a simple integer, a numeric descriptor we call a handle. I actually like to use the coat check analogy. When you hand your coat to a cloakroom attendant, you get a ticket with a number on it. That ticket obviously isn't your coat, but it's the unique reference you literally must have to get your coat back later. In MQL5, this handle is the exact phone number you've got to dial every single time you want to access that specific indicator's data stream. Moving right along to part 2, using built-in indicators. Okay, let's look at the incredible toolbox you get right out of the gate in MetaTrader 5. Out of the box, the MQL5 environment comes heavily equipped with exactly 37 predefined technical indicators. We're talking the classics here, ranging from moving averages and MACD to functions like iRSI, all the way up to incredibly complex systems like the Gator oscillator. And each of these 37 indicators has a dedicated, highly optimized built-in function to quickly generate that all-important handle we just talked about. Now, check out how carefully these built-in functions are structured. Take the built-in moving average function, or IMA, for example. You can't just ask the system for a moving average. The syntax requires you to define its exact calculation behavior. You pass in the symbol and the chart period. Then you define the core logic, the map period, so how many bars to look back, the mass shift to offset the line, the MAM method for the smoothing math, and finally, the applied price, telling it exactly which part of the candlestick to calculate. Every single parameter is a precision dial for your strategy. And those precision dials, they rely heavily on predefined MQL5 constants. Just look at the smoothing methods you can plug into that IMA function. By simply swapping in a constant like mode SMA for a simple moving average, or mode EMA for an exponential one, you completely alter the underlying mathematical logic of the indicator. And the best part? You don't have to write a single line of complex math yourself. The platform does all the heavy lifting. You just configure the blueprint. But hey, what happens when those 37 built-in indicators just aren't enough for your specific strategy? This is where we see a huge contrast. Built-in calls like IMA or iRSI rely on a rigid, predefined function signature and native platform logic. But MQL5 gives us this immensely versatile bridge called iCustom. iCustom allows your expert advisor to reach completely outside the native platform logic, locate an external compiled .ex5 file sitting on your hard drive, and dynamically generate a handle for literally any custom algorithm you or anyone else has written. It's incredibly powerful. Which brings us perfectly to part 3. Unleashing iCustom indicators. MQL5 is explicitly designed to easily accommodate your own proprietary algorithms, essentially turning them into modular puzzle pieces for your main trading robot. When you drag a custom moving average onto your chart in the MT5 graphical interface, you get that friendly drop-down menu asking what price to apply it to, like close or typical price. Well, behind the scenes, when you are actually programming your iCustom call, those visual GUI dropdowns translate directly into strict enum constants that you pass as input variables into the code. Take the essential enum applied price constants, for example. If you're building a custom indicator or calling one, you must explicitly pass these constants, like price close or price typical, as parameters. I mean, the algorithm needs this exact instruction so it knows whether to grab the closing tick of a period, the opening tick, or some mathematical average of the high, low, and close. As always in algorithmic trading, precision is absolutely everything. All right, so here is the kicker. We've successfully called IMA or iCustom, we've configured the parameters, the system created the object in memory, and it handed us back our unique handle, our cloakroom ticket. But we still don't actually have the numerical trading data, right? So how do we physically extract those raw arrays of calculated prices to use in our true trading conditions?
That takes us to part 4, retrieving data with copy buffer.
Guys, this right here is the absolute most vital piece of plumbing in the entire operation. It's the pipeline that moves data from the platform's hidden memory directly into your expert advisor's hands. To make copy buffer work, you just walk through an exact 5-step checklist. First, pass it the indicator handle, proving you have the right to access the data. Second, the buffer number, specifying exactly which line of the indicator you want. Third, the start position, meaning where in the time series you want to begin copying, usually index 0 for the absolute most current data. Fourth, the data count, which is just how many bars of history you need. And finally, the destination array. This is a dynamic double array you've prepped in your code to physically catch the data pouring out of that pipeline. Actually, let's zoom in on step 2 of that checklist real quick, the buffer number. Because complex indicators don't just output a single, simple line. The MACD has a main line and a signal line. Bollinger Bands have a baseline, an upper band, and a lower band. MQL5 uses zero index numbering for these buffers, but it generously gives you handy identifiers too. So if you want the upper limit of a Bollinger Band, you just tell copy buffer to pull from buffer index 1, which is represented by the constant upper_band. You simply have to map the right pipe to the right array.
Finally, part 5, proper resource management. Okay, the data is successfully flowing into our arrays and our algorithmic logic is firing off trades. Awesome. But we reach the final and frankly often overlooked step of our blueprint, proper memory cleanup for long-term stability. Remember how we said calling an indicator creates a dynamic object in the global system memory? Well, the more handles a program creates, the more memory it eats up. If you just dynamically generate handles in a loop without managing them, you're going to smash right into an MQL memory limit wall. The golden rule here is to meticulously limit dynamically created objects. When your EA no longer needs a specific indicator's data stream, you absolutely must explicitly call the indicator release function, passing it that handle. This destroys the object and instantly returns that memory back to the system pool, keeping your EA incredibly lightweight and blindingly fast.
And there you have the full Chapter 27 blueprint. You now understand the deep mechanics of MQL5 indicators. You know exactly how to summon built-in and custom handles, how to configure their behaviors using platform constants, how to pipe their real-time data into your arrays using copy buffer, and how to flawlessly clean up your memory using indicator release. Your architecture is totally solid and your memory is clean. So the only question left is, what kind of undiscovered, highly profitable trading signals are hiding inside your custom data buffers right now, just waiting for you to build the algorithm to find them? Get coding, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.